many know that the Lord will show up and give you a word in the midst of the storm? Oh yeah, I didn't get many, but I need a witness that knows what I'm talking about. If you know that he will show up and give you a word in the midst of the storm, somebody ought to say, yeah. Oh yeah. I ain't no clown tonight. I ain't no clown. I feel like it. I feel like it, but Shanda, I ain't gonna clown. I don't know what he brought you through. I don't even know what you're in the midst of right now. But I know that somebody owe him some praise. If it hadn't been for the Lord, you never would have made it through your spiritual hurricane. Is there anybody in here that's had troubled waters in your life? Somebody had to cry sometime. Somebody had to moan sometimes. Somebody may have had a loved one, y'all ain't gonna help me, walk off from them and be lied on and talked about and misused and isolated. But I'm here to tell you that whatever you're going through, God's got a word for you in the midst of the storm. I'm trying to skip on through here. Yes. I said I've had some storms. Oh yeah, I've had some storms. I ain't never been on the water when it was in a storm, but I've been in the airplane. Somebody said it would be less frightening in the water where you can't drink it all. If you're in the midst of the ocean, you can't swim that far. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. So it seemed to me both of them would be frightening. But I've had the Lord to show up. I said I've had the Lord to show up in the midst of my... Oh, y'all might have heard it somewhere else. You might have heard it somewhere else. But I was in the airplane. We had waited 3 hours trying to outwait the storm. Then the pilot, after being refueled, took off in the air and said we're going to go miles out of the way to avoid the storm. This is my testimony. To avoid the storm. And we're going to come back. Y'all ain't going to help me. We're going to ease around it and come in the back way to the destination. Because we don't need to go through the storm. The plane is too small. It can't handle the storm. We got in the air and we went out. I think 50, 60, 70 miles out of the way of our direct approach. But can I tell you, the storm wasn't gone. And it reached where we were. And as we tried to climb higher, y'all ain't gonna help me, out of the storm, we found ourselves in a dilemma. After a while, it looked like somebody was pulling the wing on this side. And somebody else was pulling the wing that way on this side. And there we were caught in the middle of a tug war. But then, to make matters worse, I looked over at the right engine. And it stopped going. Y'all ain't gonna help me. It stopped going around. And the plane began to come straight down in the air. I began to call on Jesus. I tried to call him cute. I tried to call him quiet. Folk were screaming around me, trying to fall out, saying we're getting ready to die. And I was trying to call on him and to remind him that I was still on the plane. But they kept on screaming. Somebody was regurgitating. And I wasn't sure he could hear me. The old lady from Chicago that was sitting next to me, she was screaming so loud. I didn't want God to get confused with my prayer and her scream. So I took my hand and hit her in the chest. I said, shut up, baby. I'm trying to get in touch with God. And I started praying out loud. I didn't worry about what they thought about me. I began to pray in my spiritual language. I began to pray in your heavenly language. I didn't care about speaking in tongues. I said, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help that I know. I need you, Baba. to help me right now? Somebody say yeah. Look like God took his big hand in the midst of that plane falling, caught it under the bottom, there that we sat suspended in midair, and I just believe the Holy Ghost breathed on that right engine. That engine started up again. It looked like God's hands put the plane back in the sky, and we went on to our destination. And I was giving him praise because I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. Oh, I'm not giving you the testimony to give any glory to myself, but I went through that to tell you tonight that what I went through was just a setup to give God glory, and what you are going through is just a setup to give God glory. I feel like preaching in here. Don't worry. I said, don't worry. If you abide with the ship, you shall make it to safety. Can I get somebody to give him praise?